Reactive recolors in Apex have a super weird history, and Respawn have tried to do so many things with them, but it seems like they keep getting it wrong. And believe it or not, reactive recolors have been a thing since Season 1, so let's take a look. Because back in Season 1, when we got the very first Battle Pass, we also got a very first reactive skin, and it was for the Havoc. We had two versions, we had a gold version and a silver version. But also, people who looked deeper into Apex's files realized Respawn were planning to release recolors for the reactive skins, which sounded like a pretty cool idea. They had a blue reactive recolor in the files ready to be released, and they also had a wood grain reactive recolor sitting in the files ready to be released as well. So from the beginning, people were waiting for reactive recolors to come to Apex, but something weird happened. We heard nothing else about reactive recolors for over 10 more seasons. This was until 2022, when rumors started going around that the famous Season 4 Flatline reactive skin was going to get a recolor, and once again these rumors went on for a while, until late 2022 when this file was added to the game. Respawn were actually developing a reactive Flatline recolor and were planning to release it in the future, so basically all we had to do was wait. But then again, it never came. Much like the Havoc reactive recolors designed by Respawn before it, the reactive recolor of the Flatline sat in the files and was never sold in the game. It was becoming clear that Respawn didn't know how they wanted to sell reactive recolors, and once again Respawn basically scrapped the skin. This was until the end of Season 15, when Respawn actually figured out a way to add reactive recolors into the game. But the way they decided to add them in wasn't the best, because it created a lot of backlash, as in the Celestial Sunrise event, the final reward for buying out the whole collection event wasn't an heirloom, it wasn't a prestige skin, no, it was a reactive recolor of the Season 3 Peacekeeper skin. People were enraged, and not many people bought this event at all. People were that enraged that Respawn came out in an interview a few months later and said, yeah, we saw the feedback and we're not going to put a reactive recolor as a collection event reward again, and if you ever have an issue with stuff in Apex, vote with your wallets. Don't buy it. And you know what? People were pretty happy with Respawn saying that, because Respawn clearly accepted defeat and weren't going to add reactive recolors to the game again in that way. Or were they? You see, a few weeks after the Respawn developer said this in an interview, we got the new season of Apex, and in the files of this season, Respawn actually re-added the blue Havoc recolor and gave it a name, and also gave it a matching Wraith skin ready to be added to the game. And because it seemed like Respawn were preparing to bundle these two skins, people were like, oh, they're going to sell reactive recolors in the item store, this is going to be awesome. But then, we waited a few seasons, and a few more, and Respawn never added these. They clearly scrapped the plan for this bundle, and maybe just wanted to stop messing around with reactive recolors. But we were wrong, because in an unexpected addition in Season 20 of Apex, they added a whole store and currency just for reactive recolors. It seemed like Respawn had finally decided how they were going to sell these items. After so many seasons of messing around and testing and making new recolors, it seemed like they finally decided. And also in this new store, that red reactive flatline was also being sold, so it finally made it into the game nearly 2 years after being data mined. And you know what? People seemed pretty happy about this. It didn't seem like too much of a predatory way to sell these skins, and you know what? We could maybe accept this for the time being. I mean, maybe loads of useless currencies being added to Apex is a bad thing, but at least Respawn are selling them in a non-predatory way, not in an event. Oh wait, they just did it, didn't they? Yes, in the Void Reckoning event, Respawn decided to go back on everything and sell a brand new Havoc recolor, which is also blue, in this event as the rarest reward. And this really shows one thing that we've been seeing a lot more with Apex. Respawn and EA are greedy. They will be anti-consumer and make the most vile and predatory events possible if they can make a couple more bucks out of it. They'll simply do that, and I think the reactive recolors are a good way to show Respawn's new approach to money. We don't care what you think, as long as it makes money, it's fine.